5 secrets that make traveling after 70 better than ever. Have you ever wondered, what if the last trip of your life has already happened? I used to believe that. After turning 70, I thought I should stay home, more, take it easy, and leave all the adventures to the younger generation. Until one day, I came across an 84-year-old woman sitting alone at a cafe in a quiet little town in Colorado. She was traveling by herself, white hair, notebook in hand, eyes sparkling in the morning sun. And her smile, it looked like someone who had just rediscovered youth in a place she'd never been. She said something to me I'll never forget. Traveling after 70 isn't like when you're young, it's better. Because now I don't travel to run away. I travel to come home. And that's when it hit me. There's a kind of travel that's so different, so rich in meaning, that only begins to make sense after 70. Because by then, you're finally slow enough, deep enough, and still enough to truly feel it. In this video, I want to share with you 5 reasons why traveling after 70 can be more meaningful, more beautiful than it ever was when you were younger. And more importantly, I'll reveal a powerful truth that most seniors don't know, something that could turn every trip you take from now on into the most meaningful chapter of your later life. If you've ever thought, I don't have the energy to travel anymore, then stay with me, because in just a few minutes, you might see things differently. And maybe the most beautiful part of traveling at this age isn't how far you can still go. It's how deeply you can feel every place you arrive. The sunlight dancing on an old rooftop, the gentle smile from a stranger. A quiet little alley you've never walked through now, no longer a foreign street, but a mirror reflecting a piece of yourself you hadn't seen in years. Traveling after 70 isn't about escaping age. It's how we remind ourselves, I'm still alive, and I'm fully here. If this story resonates with you, or if you've ever dreamed of taking a trip like that, leave a comment below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to believe again. And if you'd like to join me for more stories on living well, living joyfully, and living free after 60, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because we still have so many beautiful stories to share with each other. Part 1. You're no longer in a hurry. Slow travel is the real travel. One of the clearest things I realized when I started traveling again after 70 was this. For the first time in my life, I no longer felt the urge to keep up. No more racing from one stop to the next. No pressure to check off every must-see place. No more rushing as if missing something would ruin the trip. I remember back when I was younger, every trip felt like a sprint. If a cheap flight meant leaving at 5 a.m., I took it. The hotel had to be near the center, the itinerary packed, the photos perfect, the social media posts fast. At the time, I thought I was enjoying myself, but now I see I was exhausting my own presence just to prove that I'd done enough. But now, after 70, I slow down. Not because I can't move fast, but because I no longer want to miss what's truly worth seeing. The first time I tried slow travel was in a small lakeside town in Michigan. I planned to stay one night. I stayed 4. There were no famous landmarks, nothing Instagram-worthy, but every morning I sat on a wooden bench by the lake, watched the sunlight dance on the water, listened to the leaves rustling in the breeze, and read an old book I had packed along. I had never felt so at peace. When you've lived over 70 years, you don't need to do more to feel worthy of a trip. You just need to be yourself somewhere new. Science calls it restorative travel. It doesn't need to be luxurious. It doesn't need a crowd. It just needs space-time and a little quiet for your body to rest and your spirit to come alive again. A Mayo Clinic study showed that seniors who travel at a slow, relaxed pace without the pressure of a tight schedule report 23% higher happiness and better sleep after their trip, compared to those who try to cram in too many stops. So, if you're thinking about taking a trip after 70, try removing the word must from your plans. You don't have to visit 5 attractions. You don't need to climb every hill. Sometimes all you need is one place. That makes you want to stay just a little longer. Travel after 70 isn't a race. It's a journey to slowly, gently return to yourself. Part 2. You know what truly brings you joy. No more chasing the crowd. When I was younger, I traveled for other people. Because friends invited me. Because everyone was going to that place. Because something was trending on social media. I'd book the flights plan, the tours, fill the schedule. And sometimes, even I wasn't sure what I was excited about. I used to think the more places I visited, and the wider I smiled in the photos, the more successful the trip was. But there were times I came home, feeling strangely empty, still tired, still disconnected from the person I saw in those perfectly staged pictures. But something special happens after 70. You no longer need anyone else to define joy for you. Now, before any trip, I quietly ask myself, what do I truly want from this journey? And the answer is never the same. Once, I just wanted a quiet week by the ocean, no phone, no calls. Another time, I took a long-distance train ride across states alone, just to watch the scenery pass and scribble thoughts into my notebook. And once I revisited the little town where my wife and I spent our honeymoon, just to walk that familiar street again and sit at the old bakery we once loved. I realized a trip doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It just needs to feel right to me, and that's enough. This is something many older adults forget, the right to choose how we experience things. We've lived long enough to know we no longer enjoy crowds, we don't want to sightsee, just to check boxes, and we don't have anything to prove to anyone anymore. So why not choose a kind of travel that matches our own rhythm, our own mood, and our true self? Some friends my age often say, I still want to travel, but I'm afraid I won't fit in with a group. Afraid I'll have to pretend to be cheerful when all I really want is to just sit quietly. I always tell them, you don't need to follow others to feel joy. Real joy at this age is simply feeling at peace with your own choices. It could mean traveling with a close friend or going solo, signing up for a cooking class in a new city, or just renting a cabin in the woods for 2 days. There's no right way to travel after 70. There's only one thing that matters: travel in a way that makes you feel truly alive. And if you'd like to keep walking with me through stories of joyful, healthy, and free living after 60, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because there are still so many journeys waiting ahead. In the next part, I'll talk about something that holds many seniors back from hitting the road. Is my body still strong enough for travel? And I'll show you how I prepare so that I don't worry about that anymore and can enjoy every trip to the fullest. Part 3. Your body isn't what it used to be. That's okay. You just need the right preparation. If there's one thing that keeps many of my friends over 70 from traveling, it's this honest fear: I don't think my health can handle it anymore. That's a real concern, and I understand it deeply. We're not 40 anymore. Our backs ache more often, our knees are stiffer, and sometimes we pack more medication than clothing. Once, I nearly canceled a 5-day trip just because of a sudden backache. I told myself, maybe I should stay home. It's safer here. But then I thought if I wait until my body feels perfect, maybe I'll never go again. That was when I began learning how to travel differently, more gently, in a way that matched my body as it is now. After a few trips and a few hard lessons, I came to a simple truth. Age doesn't stop you from traveling. It just asks you to prepare more thoughtfully. I started planning more flexible schedules. No more racing through 3 cities in 5 days. I now choose one place and stay long enough for my body to settle in. I pick accommodations with elevators, low beds, and grab bars in the bathroom when possible. I carry printed medical records, a list of my current medications, and keep them in my day bag at all times. I sort my pills in a daily organizer with an alarm reminder. I'm not afraid to ask if the hotel offers a healthy breakfast or to stop by a nearby store for familiar snacks I know my body likes. And perhaps most importantly, I've learned that not going because you're afraid of getting tired is one thing, but going unprepared, that's what truly wears you out. NARP research shows that over 60% of people aged 65 and older still travel every year, and most report significantly improved mental well-being after a trip, as long as they planned for their needs. The key lies in 3 words. Adapt, don't avoid. You don't have to climb a mountain, but you can take the cable car. You don't have to lug a heavy suitcase, but you can use a luggage delivery service. You don't need to eat out every meal, but you can rent a little apartment with a kitchen. Traveling in later life isn't about forcing yourself to do what you did when you were young. It's about actively caring for yourself so you can enjoy more and worry less. I used to ask, what if my back acts up in the middle of the trip? Now I ask, if I don't go, when will I get another chance to see the autumn colors in Vermont? So if you've ever hesitated to travel because your body isn't what it used to be, I hear you. But please don't let that fear keep you home forever. Because with a little preparation, a little flexibility, and a little listening to your body, you can still go. You can still see. And you can still live some of the most beautiful moments of your later years. Have you ever canceled a trip because of health worries? Or do you have a travel tip that helps you stay safe and comfortable after 70? Share it in the comments. Because your little piece of advice might just give someone else the courage to begin their journey. Part 4. Traveling after 70 isn't just for sightseeing, it's for healing. Most people think of travel as something relaxing, a way to see the sights, enjoy some good food, take a few pictures, and head home. And maybe that's enough when you're young. But at this age, I've discovered something I never noticed in my 40s or 50s. Travel, if done the right way, can be a path to healing. Not healing because you're broken, not because something is wrong with you, but because some emotions have been buried for too long, some losses were never given a name, some memories, some emptiness have stayed quietly inside, even as you go about your day smiling, walking, doing everything as usual. I've been through a time like that. After my wife passed away, I was fine in every material sense. I had what I needed, but something inside felt hollow. I lived like I was outside of my own life, until one day I did something no one expected I went back alone to the small town where she and I used to spend our summers. I didn't know why I was going. I wasn't sure I was ready. But something extraordinary happened. I sat down on the same wooden bench by the lake where she used to read and I used to fish. And I didn't cry like I thought I would. I just exhaled. And for the first time in months, I felt a gentle kind of peace. You see, going somewhere new or returning to somewhere old isn't just about getting away. It's a way to reconnect with parts of ourselves that daily life has slowly blurred. According to a report from the American Institute of Geriatric Psychology, simply changing your environment for just 3 to 5 days can reactivate the emotional centers in the aging brain. Just being in a new setting, walking through a different park, hearing unfamiliar voices, smelling new foods, these small things can awaken your memory, your sense of being alive, and your ability to truly feel again. So if something has been weighing on your heart, an old sadness, an unanswered question, or a sense that you've grown distant from yourself, don't stay confined within 4 walls, hoping the feeling will pass. Step out. You don't need to go far, you don't need to stay long, and you don't need to explain it to anyone. All you need is a new place. A place where you can sit in silence without feeling lonely. A place where your heart can speak without being interrupted. Sometimes what you need isn't advice. It's a journey, just for you. I know at our age people often say, "What's left for me to go and see?" But I believe right now when you've lived enough, felt enough, and slowed down enough, you're finally able to receive everything a journey truly has to offer. If you've ever taken a trip that helped you reconnect with yourself, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. And if you're quietly dreaming of such a journey, maybe this is the sign you've been waiting for. Hit subscribe if you'd like to join me as we explore what travel after 60 really means, not to go far, but to return deeply to who we are. Part 5. Aging isn't about letting go. It's about rediscovering what you once left behind. For many years after I retired, I used to think I was done traveling, as if the time for adventure, exploration, and wandering had ended with my younger days. And honestly, I didn't blame myself. When you turn 70, the things you once loved might not feel right anymore. Your body changes. Your schedule revolves around doctor appointments, grandchildren, and daily routines. And slowly, you start telling yourself, "I'm too old for that now." But here's something no one tells you. Aging isn't a time to close the book. It's the only time in life when you're finally free enough to bring back the parts of you that got left behind. I remember a late autumn afternoon last year. I was cleaning out the storage room when I stumbled upon an old box. Inside was the harmonica I used to play back in high school. I hadn't touched it in over 40 years, and suddenly a quiet thought came over me. What if I could still play it? So I packed it for a short 3-day trip to the Oregon mountains. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't expect anything. But on the second night, sitting alone on the wooden porch, wind whispering through the trees, I pulled out that harmonica and played a few simple notes. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough. Enough to feel like I was coming back to a very old and very true part of myself. I'm sharing this with you because I believe every one of us has something that once lit up our heart. But life got in the way, and we let it fade. A song, a place, a forgotten object, a plan we never dared to try. And after 70, we have the perfect window of time no one to impress, no race to keep up with, just ourselves and the quiet courage to go back and live something meaningful again. A 74-year-old friend of mine recently surprised everyone she signed up for a watercolor class in another state. She hadn't painted since her 30s. 3 weeks later, she texted me, "I feel like I'm 18 again. Not because I'm young, but because I'm finally doing what I once dreamed of." And that, I think, is the beauty of growing older. Aging doesn't take your dreams away. It gives you the time to live them again. So if there's something that once brought you joy, but you left it somewhere along the way, remember, it's still there, and you still have the chance to go back. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be honest and brave enough to begin, even if it's late. Have you ever rediscovered a passion, something from your youth, because of a trip? Or is there something you've quietly wanted to do again for years? Share your story in the comments. Who knows, your words might be the gentle nudge someone else has been waiting for. And if you believe this kind of message is worth sharing, hit that subscribe button, because in the next video, I'll be revealing a powerful secret that's changed how I travel after 70. No more stress, no more fear. And yet, most seniors still have no idea it exists. Part 6. The one secret most seniors don't know, and it changes every journey. After all the trips I've taken since turning 70, I've come to a surprising realization. It's not the destination, not the itinerary, not even the weather. It's the mindset you carry when you step out your front door that truly shapes whether the trip becomes something memorable or just another blur. Most seniors worry about all the usual things before traveling: health, money, weather, schedules. But very few pause to ask themselves, what kind of energy am I bringing into this journey? I have a friend named Walter. We once took a short trip to the mountains together. The weather was perfect. The views were breathtaking. But the entire time he kept saying, "If only I were younger, then I could really enjoy this." Same place, same age, but completely different experience. You see, I felt nothing but gratitude, grateful that I could still travel, still see the sunset, still feel the cool breeze on my face. That is the one secret most seniors forget: traveling with a heart full of gratitude. Not waiting for everything to be perfect. Not comparing it to how things used to be. Just being light enough inside to savor what's here now, even if it's small. And when you travel with that kind of mindset, every trip becomes precious. It doesn't have to be far, it doesn't have to be long. As long as you're truly present, that's enough. Have you ever taken a trip that seemed ordinary, but left something deeply meaningful in your heart? I'd love to hear your story in the comments. And if this video stirred up a part of you, a longing that's been quietly waiting, then hit that subscribe button, because we still have so many beautiful journeys ahead. Not to prove anything to anyone, but to truly live every remaining day in our own unique, meaningful way.